Make your food taste fine, I can show you online. It's the Cooking with Pauli show. Hello and welcome to Cooking with Pauli. Today we're going to make maraschino cherries. Cherries are in season. Now, maraschino cherries are those icky things you get in the jar that have all the red dye that are bad for you or used to be bad for you, but now they're okay, but they still taste bad? Well, it's based on something really good. So there's this liqueur called Maraschino or Maraschino from Italy, and it's basically cherry liqueur. And cherries are in season now, and they're only in season for a couple of weeks. So actually this recipe is kind of a pain because you need three things, all of which are hard to come by. Fresh cherries. You need the fresh cherries. Good. You need a cherry pitter. This thing right here, which is a little tricky to find, but you should be able to. And you need maraschino liqueur, which I've discovered you can get at Bevmo. Okay, so here's the deal. This is all you gotta do. You get a jar. You get the cherries. Take the cherries, pit the cherries, thus. See, and then first it's hard to do. You got the pit out, cherry goes in there. I'll see you in a few minutes when I have the jar filled with cherries. Parents, you may want to take your kids to the other room. What you're about to see is not pretty. It looks like a battle scene. Yes, pitting cherries is a messy business. Blood spattered everywhere. Bones and carnage. But what we get is a lovely jar full of tasty pitted cherries. Okay, the next thing we've got to do, it's really step two is kind of the last step, is take our maraschino and pour it in the jar, basically to cover these puppies. So what's kind of great about this is the liqueur is too sweet and the cherries are maybe not always as sweet and cherry-like as we imagine that they will be. But when you mix these together in this jar, A, the cherries can stay for like a year, and B, each kind of gives up their fluid to the other. So the liquid gets better as the cherry juice, the inside of the cherry trades its juices with the alcohol. So, just gotta close that up. Let's take it to the fridge and put it in there next to our other jar, which is ready. Another hint for this, wear a red shirt or no shirt at all, because what you saw on the counter is going to end up on you. And you'll have blood-stained red hands as well. Now, what do you do with these things when they're all ready? I mean, they look good, right? Well, there are two main things to do with these maraschino cherries as far as I'm concerned. One, put it on vanilla ice cream, totally delicious. The other is to make a Manhattan, for which you need Maker's Mark, sweet vermouth, bitters. I like the Peychaud's orange bitters, some of your cherries, which are ready, by the way, you can start using them in just a couple of days. I would say 3 to 5, and they're good for a year. All right, coming into the freezer, let's get ourselves some ice. I'm going to talk Manhattans here a little bit. One of my favorite drinks, and especially when the cherries are ready. Basically, it's kind of 2 parts bourbon to 1 part sweet vermouth ish, and then bitters. Bitters is what kind of evens it out. Evens out the little line between the two. We shake this puppy up. Shake. Really, it should be done longer, but do you really want to watch me shake this for 30 seconds? I don't think so. Get your tasty martini glass out of the freezer. Uh-oh, here we go. Let's sit this down. Is it going to stay? Please? And yeah. Maybe you shouldn't use your hands, but I am. Let's get one of these tasty cherries out. Close the freezer. Yeah. Cooking with Pauli is a green show. Alright, we got that there. And your tasty Manhattan's ready. Oh, that's so good. And then at the end, you get a cherry. Well, that's it for Cooking with Pauli for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have.